My awakening was this one's a little crazy. I don't my earliest awakening, I think it might be one of them could be Betty Boop.
I am in middle school and we are having a little girl sleepover
In my head, Betty Boop is my girlfriend. And yeah.
and we play a little saucy truth or dare.
So I grew up in Porto Alegre. That's a city in the south.
It honestly all goes back to 2022. I ended a 7-year long relationship. I had just moved to New York 6 months prior for that person.
And one of the dares was that this other girl had to kiss me on the cheek. And I just felt, I don't even know what I felt inside. It was like, to me, it was like fireworks, butterflies. I don't even know. It just, like, I can't describe it other than there was a spark. And, um, and then fast forward to when I get my actual first kiss on the lips, and it's with a boy.
It's the capital of the state, so it's not like a tiny city, but people wouldn't come from outside to see it, you know? It's not a New York in that sense. So growing up there, I had like, my own little bubble of things were happening. But as I started growing older, some people started leaving the city, to going to bigger places, going to São Paulo, which is like the bigger city in Brazil where stuff is actually happening. And then you kind of like open your eyes and you're like, okay, I guess there's more to it.
Okay, so obviously I was like trans mask. So I tried Grinder. Sorry, we needed a moment of silence. But
This is the most romantic first kiss that you can ever imagine, and I feel nothing. I feel nothing for this person, and I feel nothing about this kiss. And I'm like, there must be something wrong with me.
I think when I was younger, going out was a lot about fitting to a standard that I was telling myself I had to reach. I don't think anyone ever tells you that directly, right? But that's such a universal sensation when you're growing up and trying to figure out what works or not.
Because I've discovered that even though I always thought I liked boys for my entire life, I was more attracted to the idea and the presentation of masculinity.
that's when I realized men are not for me, and I was just like, yeah. I feel like I tried everything I possibly could, and I didn't like a single thing. I experimented, and it kept. And I feel like the experimenting part was definitely like a denial thing.
But it was just kind of the ability to, be surrounded by warm bodies and also just kind of have this communal experience that was sort of unspoken. I think that was sort of that was definitely like awakening.
I think I'm much more comfortable going on my own nowadays. This is a recent development for me. I would always rely on the getting together as the energy boost that I need to like decide to go to a place, right? You have to break that barrier of like convincing yourself that it's going to be fun and worth the investment of time, energy, money. Nowadays, I've been enjoying getting ready at my own pace.
Clubbing, it felt like a really good way to be alone but not feel alone.
In middle school, I was just so ashamed of like the feelings that I felt. But around high school, I started to be like, hey, I'm gay. That's when I think I really started to get comfortable in my skin. I started, like being a lesbian. I started talking to girls and acknowledging that I like girls, and that's when I really started to step into the person that I am today.
I meet this person and I just think they're so, so cool. They identify as, they, he. And I had never had such a giddy crush in my life.
And, this was like early coming out of lockdown. It was people that like wanted to be clubbing, needed to be clubbing. I was one of the people who needed to be clubbing. And I just kind of started having this realization of like, oh yeah, no, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than everybody here.
So I am trying to signal in every which way to this person that I'm fruity. I got desperate. I got a carabiner.
I posted about my detransition on TikTok, and TikTok is TikTok. And a lot of people have been DMing me and saying that they have felt the same way that I did, and saying that they don't feel right, like taking testosterone anymore. And I don't know, what I usually tell them is just like, if something doesn't feel right, you kind of, in moments like that, you really have to like pause and like really think about things before you even continue down any path. You know what I'm saying?
We are here having this transcendental experience together. We are here saving each other, seeing each other, witnessing each other, making each other feel safe and validated. And I think that was the thing too, is it's like coming from the Midwest, it's like there's not safer spaces policies in Cincinnati, Ohio.
It's a nice thing to think about that I'm going here to be who I am, and there will be witnesses, and that's okay because I think that's also important. Like being comfortable, just being in public too, not being in control of how you're perceived is important to me. I think dealing with that too, like you will be perceived, and maybe you're not going to be perceived in the way that you wish people were perceiving you. But if you're in a place that you're safe, that's okay, you know, and challenging yourself a little bit. That's why feeling safe is so critical.
My brother was actually, he was playing young Lola in Kinky Boots. Lola is like the drag queen that grows up. Yeah, so he was like the young version. He was like wearing high heels and stuff. And yeah, so I was around that a lot. I was around a lot of those cast members, or very openly queer. I was around all of those drag queens. And I remember I was 14 when he first started that gig, and I've never seen a drag queen up until that point. And it was just like, wow, what have I been missing? And it just felt like I was missing something like my whole life. Like, this is the community I deserve to be around.
And then I ask them what their sexuality is, and they say aromantic and asexual. And I'm like, damn, double, double homicide.
Nightlife has allowed me to have 1,000 different rebirths and deaths of different parts of myself.
I've enjoyed the sensation of being a new and still unexplored version of myself when I go out here. So obviously that was new for me. Now I already have my familiar faces, which is also fun in itself.
Because I feel like when it comes to like labels, it's like there's three labels and you have to pick one. No, you don't have to pick a label at all, actually. You don't. You can make your own. And if someone thinks that's silly, oh wow. It's you, and your label is only supposed to make sense to yourself. Your body's only supposed to make sense to yourself. Your mind is only supposed to make sense to yourself, right?
um, if you look remotely like a boy, I do not care what's down there. I I would love to know more about you.
I've really come to terms with my own queerness and my relationship to my gender and my relationship to femininity.
But it was nice just starting fresh because I think that finally allowed me to have fun with some stuff that my head wouldn't like go so easily. When you grow up in the same city, you're in your hometown, even if you love it and you love the people around you.
Like, I don't mind being the first to do anything, because if someone sees me do it, then someone's gonna like, what if I inspire someone? And I feel like with this mindset, this is why I haven't like really found the role model. I feel like I am my own role model.
When I think back to my childhood. Because like when I think it's the same thing as when I think about that night at this girl sleepover. Like I'm pretty sure all those girls already forgot about that story, but it played such a pivotal role in me kind of questioning, do I like girls?
Like, I personally am really in a season of rebirth.
Pretty in a sense where you um are kind of embracing and your true self, and you let yourself love whoever you want to love, instead of just limiting your options to who you think you should love.
Like, let's say you're walking down the street and you don't know where you're going. You're gonna stop. You're gonna look on your phone. Like, you're gonna take those 5, 10 minutes looking at the maps to see where you're gonna go. And it's kind of like the same thing when it comes to the situation I was in, and when it comes to the situations that these people share. You really have to just you kind of have to like sit back and try to understand yourself.
I think that the most productive inner work that I've ever done has actually been facilitated by others in public spaces. And I just want to continue to do that for myself, but also for other people and for other femme people and for other queer people.
Younger me, just be you, honestly. Super cliche, but like, yeah, like you're just a kid. You have so much. As kids, we really rush ourselves, right? Because if I don't know, when you're a kid, it feels like you really only have 18 years, right? And just that's really how it feels. And then when you get to 18, you're just like, damn, there's more. Like, I gotta keep going, like, right? But it's like there's no rush. No rush to anything. They're like not my, they're not straight, but they're bisexual. And I would hear them talk about like their sexual experiences with men, and they're like, "Oh, I want that shit down my throat." And I'm like, "Oh, y'all like that? I think I'm a lesbian, y'all. I don't think I could do that one."